Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Transitioning to RMR, Essential Lessons for Executives and Business Owners. Let's see, today is April 16th, so I hope everybody had a great week over at ISC last week. I know it was busy for us. Had a couple of training programs, got around to see some of the booths and see what's going on. And I think we're in really good shape here as far as our partners and what they're doing, and I'm excited to share some things with you today that we've learned in the last few weeks. So let's go ahead and get started. Today we're going to just do some updates on what's been going on with some of our partners and show you a demo of something that you now have available to you as part of your proposal for virtual guarding, and talk a little bit about some of the vertical markets that are starting to really hit, and we'll delve more into that with the sales group here in an hour. But for you owners, we'll keep it high level and just show you enough to I think, get your mouth watering to see exactly what we're able to do for you and what you guys can now offer your clients. So what you're looking at here is a web portal. I know we've talked a lot in the past about how we were making this transition to the cloud-based portal for our monitoring services. And we've done that. It's been about 2 months now that we've been operating in cloud, and it's working out great. So it's time, I think, for you guys to see the demo, understand how this will change things for you and your customers. In the past, with the virtual guarding, when we had an incident to report, we would basically either send a link to an FTP site where people can go and download the video clips and see the audit reports and things like that. But it was a rather cumbersome manual process. Now we have this new web portal where from Explorer on a computer, Explorer browser, or if they have an iPhone or an iPad, there's actually an Immix mobile app that your customers can download. And basically what this does is it gives your customers the opportunity to see live video and see the incident reports of what's happened. A lot of concerns that we get when we're talking to new prospects and clients is, perhaps they've had a guard service in the past, and excuse me, and one of the challenges was having that accountability and that consistency in the way that that service was delivered and that level of protection, and not having a way to verify that patrols were done on time, that post orders were followed. Things like that is very frustrating, and as expensive as a guard is these days, they can't afford to not perform. So when they change over to a virtual guarding type solution, it's really important that you and your sales team focus on how this audit trail can hold us accountable for the services that we're contracted to deliver. So this portal is basically what your customers will see upon logging in. And I'll actually, let me just log out so you can see it from the very beginning. And I apologize, I'm sorry, I'm still getting over a cold that I caught while we were over at ISC. But this is the portal that they'll have when they first log in. And each end user will have their own credential. And this is the dashboard that, upon logging in, that it takes us to. Critical events, that's stuff that the monitoring center is actually dealing with. We're not asking the end users to monitor their own critical events. But for event reports and to see what's happened in the past, up here there's this event tab. So let's start there. When I come to this location, I can go to view and search events. And if I have multiple locations, each location would be listed here, and I could click on the one that I wanted. So in a lot of cases, we have customers that have multiple locations, and with a quick click of a mouse, they can see what happened at a specific area. They can filter by what kinds of events they want to see. So if we're doing guard tours, which is called patrols, they can just look and see what did they see on the guard patrol last night, and did they do the guard patrol last night. Or they can do alarms, which would be any kind of alarm event that came to us, or we can just leave it defaulted at all event types and see everything. You can modify your time frame if you'd like to go back further, that's fine. But here it breaks down, the event based on a timestamp process here. So I'm going to go, let's just see what the most current event was here. You can see the timestamped item. It shows exactly when the event occurred, the nature of the event, and then all of the video is right here and it automatically plays. So you can see exactly what they saw when that alarm happened. And you can go back, you can say, well, what happened yesterday? What did they see on their patrol yesterday at 4 in the morning? And you can see all of the video. It looks like they were having some weather out there. You need to focus that camera a little bit. But anyhow, you can get a feel for the fact that your customers now have the ability to not only can they see the video clips, after the events happen like we normally would send it to them, but at their own leisure, they can log in at any time and see exactly what activity's been going on at their location. So this is a huge opportunity. Now, if there was audio enabled, instead of a camera icon, there would be one that looks like a speaker, and you could click on that and hear also what the audio sounded like. If your customer would like to download a copy of the incident report, perhaps they just want something, piece of paper, put it in a file, something like that, they can click on this Get Incident Report, and it pulls up a PDF of the time-stamped audit trail of exactly what happened, exactly what duration, what they, if there were any notes at the end of the incident, that would be here. So especially if they did a patrol and they saw something concerning, the operator would have to summarize what they saw, what they did when they saw it, and all of that report would be here. And so your customers can easily shoot this off to an insurance company if they needed to do that. They can also, just like I said, keep it in their file. It's a very cool new feature that we're able to do here. So again, that's on the Events tab, if anybody does that. Now, the other thing that's really powerful is the ability to see live video. So again, I click on cameras, and now I can select my specific location. And when we build the site, what we'll do is take still images from each of the camera shots so they can easily navigate and decide which one do I want to look at here. Now, this is of the monitoring center, so I'll go ahead and just see what's going on in the monitoring center right now. And so this is live video, so it's just so easy for them to be able to navigate and see what's going on with a quick click of a mouse. So we've got a couple of operators there. So this is the monitoring center right now. It's all live. And it's just a great new tool. I know there's a lot of, NVRs and, programs that people can use to see live video from a mobile device or from a browser. But what's great about this is that we're also able to do it with, in conjunction with the incident reporting and whatnot. So that's just a huge, huge benefit. So if your customers, are wary at all of, the performance of outsourcing any of their monitoring, and they wanted to know for sure that there would be a way to, hold us accountable for what we're supposed to provide, this is a great way, of doing that. So again, if you have any questions about this portal, let me know. What we're going to be doing as a sales tool for you and your sales guys is I'm going to do this demo in just a short little 3 or 5 minute segment at the most and record it and create a YouTube video. And then what I can do is send you all a link to that YouTube video, and you can use that as a demonstration tool when you go out to do your proposals and site walks and show this is how this portal works and this is how you can take advantage of it. And again, if you guys have, Anita, I know some of you, we do the monitoring of your facility. So if you'd like to get set up as a customer, what would be great is we could get you your own portal login with your own site. And you could show them on, if you have an iPhone or an iPad, you could show them the app there, or you could show them through the browser your own site. So those are some options as well. I think it always helps whenever you're demonstrating something to be able to show it in real time versus showing a video of something. It just seems more believable when you're able to see it, for what it is at that very moment. But at the very least, having that YouTube video, I think, will be a great resource for you all as well. Okay, so that is basically the web portal. So pretty straightforward. And again, all of our monitoring customers get this. It doesn't cost any extra. So it doesn't matter what equipment they're using on site. If we're pulling video and we're monitoring that location, your customers have access to this portal. The next thing I wanted to talk to you guys about were updates from the ISC show. Obviously there's a lot of cool stuff out there. Specifically hosted video, I've seen a lot of new things coming about, and I think there's a place for hosted video. I really do. We're selling some of it, but I've been really focusing my efforts on this virtual gardening area just because I feel like this more directly benefits the end user, and it really helps stop things that they're trying to stop, and it's just more hands-on, it's more intervention versus just a solution or a product that sits there. But anyway, one of the things that I'm really excited about that happened at ISC is Video IQ came out with a hybrid version of their Rialto series. So I don't know if you guys are all familiar, but it started with Video IQ had their encoders, this single channel encoder, which is great. 500 gigs of storage, voice over IP, two-way audio, relay controls. I mean, a great unit. Wonderful unit itself. But even so, per channel, just if you're doing a couple of cameras, this is a great way to go. But if you're looking at a larger scale deployment, you might want something that handles more than one channel. So then last year, around this time, they released their Rialto A4, which is their 4-channel encoder. So again, all analog cameras, but the same analytics, the same voice over IP and relay options. And also the difference, as you can see, is that they have 500 gigs of storage total still for both of these. This is per channel, and this is 500 just divided among all 4 channels. So that was one, if you want to call it a disadvantage, or one kind of give and take that you got. But the price performance, the Rialto A4 really was a more affordable version, and it allowed customers that maybe were hesitant to go with the analytics. It helped justify that sale, and getting the amount of value that they can get out of that one unit was just phenomenal. We've got several of these Rialto A4s out in the field as well, and they're working. They're working just fine. Some of the advantages is you don't have to open as many ports to access the video as you do if you're doing the single channel. So it simplifies some of that IT setup and configuration in terms of the network. But this one up here, the rack mount series, and I'm just super excited about it because it is a hybrid model. So this is something that I really encourage you guys to get on the Video IQ's website, go under products, and then appliances. That's how I got here. And you can download the data sheet. I spoke with Mahesh, their CTO, while I was out there at the event, and it is just something I've been waiting on. I don't know of any other hybrid analytics solution. I know there are some plugins you can get with with VMS platforms, you can get like an IO image or something like that, but the analytic quality just doesn't even compare. Video IQ's analytics are truly unique and powerful and reliable, and having that now available to service IP cameras. That's huge. Because, you know, I know a lot of us were frustrated with either I have to buy the Video IQ camera and then, you know, deal with, you know, sort of that price point per channel, which obviously if the encoders are, you know, single channel encoders are a little price sensitive, then you get into their HD cameras, it can be rather pricey. But now having the ability to use whatever IP cameras you guys like to use, whether it's Panasonic or Axis or whatever, it doesn't really matter. You just have that ability now to apply these analytics to IP cameras. So now you can lead with a true IP solution without having to, you know, go with the, you know, expensive cameras as well. Also for customers, and I see this a lot, customers where you installed a system 6 months ago and you did a really bang-up job, a really nice job installing some nice, you know, maybe some Panasonic cameras and a Milestone VMS or whatever it might be, and it's all running and working perfectly, there's no problem, but then they decide they could use some monitoring, and uh-oh, we don't have the ability to monitor, you know, based on events for, you know, some of those cameras. You know, outside motion detection just isn't as reliable. Now, obviously, we can use other detectors. We can use beams and then go pull video. But if you want video to be the trigger, and with today's technology, we should certainly be able to rely on it for that. This just allows us to do that. So I'm just real excited about it. So please, please, please do some research, do some homework. I don't believe it's in PSA's price list yet. My understanding is that it will start shipping May 15th. So right after PSA Tech is when these will be available for sale. And so once I get the price list, you know, I'll reach out and make sure you all know that you can start looking to see what your cost is through PSA and start looking at, you know, maybe some of the stuff you've got in your pipeline and whether or not it makes sense to incorporate this into those proposals. I think this is really a game changer, you guys. And so I just can't tell you how happy I am that they've got this solution now for us. Okay, so also a couple other things that I wanted to touch base with you all on. I don't know if you guys remember the surveys that I sent out the links to that's helping us, you know, kind of better help you. I had some issues with the way some of the questions were set up. And that the answers weren't taking exactly the right way. So I've revamped those surveys. The links remain the same. So for those of you who haven't done it yet, or if you did do it and you only did it halfway, you will have to start over. But if you wouldn't mind going in and doing that, it is done and ready, and then we can really get into that review phase and hit Q2 a little bit harder than we did hit Q1 with just more information about how you guys are feeling about certain things, how your sales team is doing with certain ideas, and just in general what it is that we can do to, you know, better support you. Also, I mentioned PSA Tech. If you have not registered yet, you need to register. You need to go to PSA Tech. There is a whole track on managed services, and I'll just kind of talk you guys through it really quickly of what some of the things are that we have to offer. First of all, we've got, actually, and I can show you, I've got a file here that has it all listed up. Let me just pull that up for you. Make it easier. Here we go. So this is the list of classes that we'll be endorsing at PSA Tech. Basically, we have on Monday a panel with some of the leading legal guys in our field who handle mergers and acquisitions on a regular basis. Also financial guys who specialize in the purchasing of just the contracts, an RMR, or sometimes they lend money against contracts as collateral. So these guys are really experts in the area of the value of recurring monthly revenue. So this first session on Monday is called The Difference Between RMR and Fool's Gold. And it really is important, I think, for you guys to go in and attend this class because you're going to learn about, you know, what kinds of contracts, what kinds of services, what, you know, kinds of things that need to be communicated in the contract, different verbiage. How do you make sure that as you guys embark on this journey to having a more managed services-centric business model, that you're setting yourself up for success so that in 5 years, the company's value is what you expect it to be or what you're looking for. On Tuesday, we're going to have a roundtable. And this is really going to be an interactive kind of session, kind of like a no-holds-barred kind of approach to where are you guys really at in terms of managed services. So people like you are going to be, and some of you that are on this call are going to participate in this one, where, you know, just having a session where we all just ask some questions that everybody's wondering. You know, are your sales guys getting it? You know, do your customers like it? Is the service really as good as we say it is? You know, and just talking about things from a very real, raw kind of perspective and identifying, you know, some of the challenges and how can we overcome some of these challenges together. And, you know, so hearing from your peers that are having some success, you know, about their struggles and about, you know, what they're still trying to fix or the things that they were able to get to work right, I think will be a great opportunity there. On Tuesday, we also have 2 classes that are a little bit more for your, like, technical sales folks. And one of them I did at ISD West last week and had a lot of great feedback, but identifying applications for virtual guard services. So how do we go about looking for and finding, you know, opportunities, you know, whether it's vertical markets or how specifically to apply the feature sets and our capabilities to a certain application. You know, that's the kind of stuff we're going to be talking about. And I think a lot of the questions that we answer in that session are the questions that your sales guys are wondering, how exactly do I position this? And exactly, you know, how do I approach a customer with this? I think they'll be able to feel much more confident and quickly see some opportunities through your customer base after attending that class. And then the second class on Tuesday is the steps of virtual guarding technology deployment. So as you sell things, what is different about these projects as compared to traditional projects? You know, how do you handle securing the network but allowing us access to video? How do you program analytics? You know, what is the process for that? What are the things in the scope of work that are different in a virtual guarding proposal as compared to a traditional, you know, CCTV kind of offer? So those are things that we'll be talking about, and it'll be very detailed. And I think, you know, that will certainly help your guys as well. And then on Thursday, Chris Peterson, who spoke to you, this group, a few weeks back from Vector Firm, will be presenting a class called Selling RMR Solutions. I do believe that's a little bit of extra money. All these other classes are included with your typical PSA Tech conference pass. But this particular one, Selling RMR Solutions, I do believe there's an additional price tag on it, but it is worth it for your sales guys because he has been working with some of our dealers and some non-integrator support dealers on some of these things that are really important, you know, in terms of their mindset and their approach and their ability to appropriately sell RMR. So I strongly encourage you guys to make that investment, have them come in, and Chris is an expert, and it will be worth the extra money. I guarantee you that. So that's PSA Tech. The other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is Chris Peterson, sort of in general, in the Vector Firm relationship. we are contemplating some ways to help make his services more affordable and help you guys, I think, see the value in having Vector come in and assist with some of your sales strategy and doing these diagnostic reviews to identify ways you can enhance your marketing and sales efforts to be more effective, especially in the area of RMR. So what we're going to be offering, and I don't have any numbers yet, but if you guys go forward and have Chris come do the diagnostic review and assist you with identifying, your strengths and weaknesses as a sales engine, we are going to offer an additional discount to those dealers who do that. And so that means more margin for you. That means a little bit easier maybe to have some flexibility if you have a price-sensitive customer. And some people ask, well, why would you do that? Why would you do the discount? And the reason why I think it's worth it for me to offer a deeper discount for this is because I've seen the way Chris is able to help our dealers. And so it's less work on my part in terms of assisting with some of the sales and market strategy and proposals and things like that. Once you have Chris come in and help you, you tend to sell more. And so because of that, it's just a volume kind of play. And it's more of a preemptive strike. I'm not going to hold you to hitting a certain number before you get that deep discount, but rather in anticipation of more revenue, I'll go ahead and give you that additional discount in good faith, because I know that Chris is good at what he does and he can really, really help you guys. So if you have not had a chance to really learn more about his diagnostic review, I encourage you to reach out to me or him directly and we can work through that with you. But also, in addition to getting a deeper discount on your monitoring, if you come through me, through integrator support, he'll give you a 5% discount on his service. So you save on both sides when you do it together. So again, I guess closing remarks, please go back and fill out those surveys that we first talked about. I can pull it up here just as a quick reminder. Go in and fill in your progress report. Have your sales team fill in their progress reports. Make sure that you guys are all working on this stuff, so that way we can get this information and we can better assist you with your market strategy, get your marketing campaigns going or more consistent if we haven't been working on those things, and identify the ways that we can really support you in getting this RMR to grow at the pace that we really want it to grow for you. So in 30 minutes, we will be back with the sales group. And so I will also be demoing the IMIX Cloud portal, the web portal for the sales group. But then I'm also going to be talking about a couple specific verticals that have been coming up again and again and again in the last several weeks, and just share how we are approaching these markets. And if there's 3 guys calling, then there's more that are out there that need this solution. So we'll be talking about those verticals here in a little bit. So if you guys have time again in 30 minutes, so that's what, 11:30 Eastern, 8:30 Pacific, we will talk to you again shortly. Thanks for your time today, guys. We're right at 30 minutes. Look forward to working with you all again here soon. All right, have a great day. Bye-bye.